Beneath the scorching sun of southern Peru lies one of the driest deserts on Earth. In this arid land, an ancient people carved a colossal secret into the surface of the ground 2,000 years ago. Hundreds of geometric shapes, straight lines stretching for miles, and most bizarrely, giant figures of animals and humans that can only be seen from hundreds of feet in the air. These are the Nazca Lines, spiders, monkeys, hummingbirds, and even a humanoid figure dubbed the astronaut. Who created these massive drawings thousands of years before the invention of the airplane, and why? If it's impossible to see these works from the ground, then for whom were they designed to be seen? For the gods? Or for someone else? Who came from the sky? For centuries after the Nazca people vanished, their colossal works were forgotten. The lines were so large that for people walking past them, they were nothing more than meaningless furrows in the ground. The secret was only revealed in the 20th century, when mankind once again rose to the skies. In the 1920s and 30s, the first pilots flying over the region were stunned by the massive and orderly shapes they saw below. However, it was Peruvian archaeologist Toribio Mejia Chespe who introduced the lines to the scientific world. While hiking in the nearby foothills in 1927, he was able to spot some of the figures from the ground and suggested they were ancient ceremonial pathways. But the person who made the mystery her life's work was German mathematician Maria Reiche. Reiche moved to Nazca in the 1940s and dedicated 50 years of her life to measuring, cleaning, mapping, and preserving these lines. She became known as the Lady of the Lines and believed they formed a massive astronomical calendar. The works created by the Nazca people fall into two main categories. The first are the figures known as geoglyphs. There are about 70 different figures of animals and plants. A hummingbird, a monkey, a spider, a whale. Some of these figures have incredible detail. For example, the spider figure perfectly depicts a rare species of spider from the Amazon jungle called Ricinulae, known for having its reproductive organ at the tip of one leg. How did the Nazca people obtain this knowledge? The second and more common category consists of perfectly straight lines that stretch for miles and giant geometric shapes like trapezoids, rectangles, and spirals. These lines traverse hills and valleys, completely ignoring the terrain. Some of them resemble enormous, empty runways. How did they create such large and precise drawings with primitive tools? And more importantly, why? The answer to how the drawings were made is actually surprisingly simple. The surface of the Nazca Desert is covered with dark-colored pebbles coated in iron oxide. Just 10 to 15 centimeters beneath this surface lies a much lighter layer of sand and clay. The Nazca people simply removed the top layer of dark stones, revealing the lighter soil underneath, using the desert floor like a giant canvas. This color contrast allows the lines to be clearly visible from the sky. To draw the large figures with such precision, they likely first created small-scale models and then transferred these models to the ground on a massive scale using simple geometry, wooden stakes, and long cords. Because the region's climate is one of the driest in the world, with almost no wind or rain, these delicate works have remained intact for 2,000 years. The method was simple, but the purpose behind it remained the greatest mystery. Why were these colossal works created? This is where the mystery deepens. the astronomical calendar theory. Championed by Maria Reich, this theory suggests the lines and figures form a giant astronomical calendar. Many lines point to the position of the rising or setting sun on important dates like solstices and equinoxes, or align with specific stars and constellations. This would have been vital for agriculture and religious ceremonies. The ritual pathways theory. More modern archaeologists believe the lines were designed to be walked upon. They were giant, sacred pathways used to pray to or communicate with the gods. It's thought that different clans or families held rituals on the figures of their own animal totems. The water source theory. Some researchers believe the lines are related to the most precious resource in the arid region: water. It's claimed that many of the lines point to the locations of underground water sources, wells, and aquifers. The ancient astronauts theory, and of course the most popular and controversial theory. Popularized by author Erich von Däniken, this theory posits that the Nazca Lines were a message for extraterrestrial visitors, or even more, a giant landing strip for their spaceships. The figure known as the astronaut is often cited as the greatest proof for this theory. While dismissed by the scientific community, this theory has cemented the mystery's place in popular culture. The true purpose of the Nazca Lines was likely a combination of many of these theories. Perhaps they were at once a calendar, a place of worship, and a guide to finding water. One thing is certain: the ancient Nazca people were deeply connected with the sky, and they wanted to send a massive and permanent message to their gods, or to whichever observers were in the sky. The secret of that message has been hidden under the sands of the Peruvian desert for 2,000 years, and perhaps the fact that it can never be fully solved is what makes it so fascinating.